In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Bogdan Bogdanovic's shooting form. He is one of the better shooters in the NBA, and of course, we can all become better shooters by analyzing the best shooters in the world. So let's get down and let's check out Bogdan Bogdanovic. Okay, so in this first clip, we see a step back. He takes a shot fake. Now, from there, what we learn? Well, on his shot fake, and I would assume, and I also do see this on many other shots, he dips the ball roughly between his hips. A lot of players do this, and this is really good, especially when you want to go up for ball fakes, because we're going to see that he can bring that ball up to his chest and get that player into the air. He's able to dip that ball one more time after that shot fake. Now, what do we see? Well, we can see that both of his feet are roughly towards the baseline, even though he is a bit offset from the center of the court, which means that his shot is, or at least his feet are slightly away from the rim, but not by much. We also see that his knees bend forward and that he has his shoulders over his knees over his toes, which is going to give him a lot of power when it comes to his shot. He is also up on his toes. There's a shadow underneath his heels. This is going to allow him as a player to get up off the ground faster. Essentially, being up on your toes allows your calf muscles to be able to push you up into the air. This is kind of the torque, I would say, behind your jump. This is going to get you off the ground faster, and then your upper legs, your thighs, your quads, they're going to be able to get your body up even higher up into your shot. Now, from there, what do we want to see? Well, we want to see what his power transfer is. He's able to get that power transfer up from his calves, up into his thighs, into his quads, up into his hips, and then that power transfer goes up into his shoulders and then into his elbow. This is all power transfer. This is why he's able to be such a consistent shooter. Now, when he does bring that ball up to his set point, which is roughly at eye level, just above eye level, and then in front of his right side of his forehead, just a bit to the side, we'll see that in the next clip, and he has his arms at roughly a 45-degree angle. Now, generally speaking, I've mentioned this in a few other videos, the more 90 degrees it is, the faster release. The farther back it is, the more power you'll have. Overall, a general good area is around 45 degrees. That's going to give you power as well as quickness. And many different NBA players shoot like this. Now, when he is just about to get off the ground, his body is straight up and down, like if there is a pull through your back up into the ground. This is a nice straight shot. You generally want to go straight up and straight back down. That's going to give you a more consistent shot. Your shot shouldn't be to shoot at a high level, because you can still shoot at a high level and not be consistent. You want to be consistent because you don't want to be that player who goes 8 for 10 in one game and then shoot 2 for 10 in another game, which then would make you a 50% three-point shooter. You would rather be 5 for 10 in one game and 5 for 10 in another game, because then of course you can be consistent, which means you are going to be the better player overall, in my own personal opinion. Now, when he does go up and to release his shot, we can see that he has a curved hand, which is a soft release that's going to give him more arc on his shot. If he was like Michael Jordan, for example, and he had that point, that would be a straighter shot but with more rotation on the ball. We also do see that his elbow does finish above his head. This is going to give him the arc on his shot, and you want to have a lot of arc on your shot because of course that just makes the rim look bigger to the ball. He also has roughly a 45-degree angle off from his arm, from his body, when we look at his release, which again is going to give him enough power to get that ball to the rim. If his arms were down farther, that would be less arc but more power. If his arms were higher, that would be more arc and less power. And again, I've said this in a couple of my training videos, where basically if your shot is short, you want to jump higher on your shot and not push on your arms. You want to leave your arms where it's comfortable. You really shouldn't be pushing the ball with your arms. If you want to get more power on your shot, more jump. If you want to have more arc on your shot, let's say your shot's always long, You don't necessarily need to change your jump. You just may need to change the arc of your shot, which then means that you need to release a bit higher. Now, when he does go up for his shot and then he comes back down, he really only jumps forward about, I would say, 3 to 5 inches. Now, why is this important? Well, of course, the more you jump forward, the more power you're going to have on your shot, but that becomes inconsistent sometimes, because if you have a couple of games where you jump more farther forward than you normally do, you may see the ball hitting the back of the rim, and then you may say, well, I just need to release the ball higher, and then you might come back and not jump so far forward, then makes the shot short, and then there's just a whole bunch of just things that you need to fix, and it's just a pain. So you want to have everything consistent with the least amount of movement. Now, going with the least amount of movement, we see that he has his elbow not bend until he gets up into his set point. That's when he starts bending his elbow back. You do not want to have as much movement on your elbow on the way up to your shot until it's up to your set point, because again, the more movement in your shot, then there's more things that you need to fix later on. It's sort of like a car. The more electronics are in a car, there's more things you need to fix in the future. Unless you buy a Tesla, which just apparently does not have anything ever wrong with it. By the way, invest in that stock. Now, when we get closer in on this second clip, we can see that he has a very, very good shot form or shooting form. And we can tell because when he goes up for his set point, we can tell even by other clips, this one's just a lot closer in, that his shoulder is in line with his elbow, which is very important. That is going to be your aim. Next is going to be, is the ball over top of his elbow, which it is. This makes the perfect, what I call the triangle, which essentially means that if the elbow is underneath the ball, that's going to be stopping the ball from going left or right. With the shoulder in line with the elbow, that's going to be really pointing the ball where you want it to go. So from there, that is very good. The next thing we notice is that he has 0 thumb flick, which is fantastic. Why is that fantastic? Because now that's not going to be hindering any of the ball's rotation or arc. However, I will admit there are a lot of players like Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry that do use a thumb flick, but if not used properly, can affect the ball. From there, we can tell that he also does have space between the palm and the ball, and we can tell this because when he goes up right here, the fingertips are on the ball. There is space between the palm and the ball. We can tell between the pointer finger and the thumb. And then when he goes up and releases that ball, we can see that it does hit the middle or touch the middle finger last. Why is that important? Well, the middle finger is the last finger on the hand that it'll probably touch because it's the longest. Now, that does it does change if your elbow's slightly out this way or that way. There's many different things that you can do to fix your shot at the end, but I'm not getting into that. Bogdanovic, in my opinion, has a fantastic basketball shooting form, and we can all learn from him. Again, there's that fantastic arc. He holds his form and he's able to get a lot of spin on that ball. That ball rotates close to 3, sometimes 4 times when it's in the air. By having a lot of backspin on that ball, it's going to allow it to hit that rim softer, so there's a higher chance of it bouncing in. Now, if you're looking to jump higher into your shot, make sure to go check out the Vertical Jump Training book down in the description below. It's helped so many players as well as myself when I was younger. That's when I started really developing it, and I'll see you guys again next time.